Anyways, welcome to the regular part of the show. Welcome to the PARAcast. I'm your host, Tomas the Boss Hernandez, joining you from a seat that now has a lamp facing the wall so my face looks brighter. Isn't that great, everybody? It's fantastic. Joining me
The
tonight,
future's so bright.
he was keeping people in matches while simultaneously taking himself out of it. It's Robert Wyatt.
It's the worst freaking day ever. I just
You
wanted
mean
to go
you're
home.
not supposed to do this?
After stage one, I told Kenny, I'm like, I just want to go home. I don't want to be here anymore. I really want to go home.
My favorite thing is when you're like, you know what? I'm just going to shoot a good, comfortable stage, and then I'll just keep building momentum from there. 2 Mike, 3 Delta. You're like, F this game.
I love any time in then the real world where someone used the George Costanza defense. Am I not supposed to do that? Is that not okay? Is this not illegal? Am I not supposed to do that? I thought this was fine. I thought everybody did this. Oh, wow. I had no idea.
Speaking of which, the police have warned him to stop telling elementary school kids there's a grizzly loose in the school. It's Jared Stepp.
That's a different type of bear. Hashtag June.
And he'll show up to anything as long as you say, I'm better than you at it. It's Kenny Terry.
Goddamn right.
Kenny,
you know
we
what's
gotta go
funny? It's
drinking.
factually, this is true.
We went out there and we shot the match, and then afterwards, me and Jared had some stuff that Jared has an M&P medal. He immediately tried to sell me. And Kenny came down, and I had my my SP-22, and we had this Walther. And we go shoot this thing. And, like, I'm shooting, like, 18, 20 splits. And then it's like, you hand it to Kenny, and Kenny goes, and Kenny shoots, like, 18 and 20 splits. I'm like, I thought you were GM. And Kenny, like, looks at me, and he's just like, name the place. What are we shooting next week, Tom? And I was just like, chill, dude. Easy now.
I'll shit in your goddamn mouth.
Like, I get it. It's just like, we're both shooting 20 splits. I'm sorry. I didn't know. But we went out there and we shot that. Then we watched Kenny zero his arrow. But speaking of,
Also got to feel the worst 2011 trigger I've ever felt right then and there. I don't know how Jared shoots such a bad 2011 trigger.
Sponsored by Real American Heroes.
I saw Kenny. It makes me laugh so much. Kenny goes to pull the trigger, and Kenny goes like this. Just dips the gun straight in the ground, and then like snaps up and like looks at us and goes, I wasn't expecting that. It was just like, and then part two is like this. Well, how heavy is that trigger? And Jared's like 4 pounds, and Kenny was like, oh, heavy. It's too heavy.
It
Wait,
was so
so-
great.
Like you get an STI, staccato, whatever the fuck you want to call them now, and you're expecting a decent trigger, and then you go to press it, and like the gun's not going off. You're like,
It was so great.
is it broken?
Kenny's
Well, it looked like I thought you didn't deactivate the grip safety. But
Funny thing,
then
yeah, that's what it felt like. That's how terrible your trigger is, Jared. I thought it didn't deactivate the grip safety.
and then all you start doing, like you're just sitting there, and it's like, bah, 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 bah. And it wasn't like it happened once, and you're like, oh, I got to pull the trigger hard. You did it like 5 times, and me
Yeah.
and Tom are just back there peanut gallerying, laughing, while Tom's over here.
Well, I'm holding my ears because there's 3 of us in 2 sets of headphones. So whoever's not has to cover their ears with their fingers because no one can walk 60 yards back and grab some new ones. But it was
Too hard, Tom.
Kenny was primed for the I'll beat your guys' asses any day of the week after that. But it was to Kenny's defense, he had sat there and shot 220 rounds with a 1 pound trigger pull.
So I figured it out, Talon. This is what we're gonna do.
Okay, what are we?
We're gonna shoot limited optics. Everyone's gonna shoot limited optics. Kenny will get my staccato, and then we can shoot whatever we want. And Kenny will have the worst match of his life, and he's just like, I'm gonna kill everyone.
We're gonna have to get ahead of him like on 2 stages. We'll need to like really trounce him because what will happen is Kenny will look at the score and go like F this, and then Mean Kenny shows up, goes Super Saiyan, and then crushes the rest of us. But it's like what you got to do is like placate him for a little bit, you know? It's like, I'm sorry, Kenny, we'll take a look at this. I got you some
If
Del
anything,
Taco.
After the first stage, you'll see me in the safety area over there tweaking your fucking
Yeah,
steering.
exactly. Exactly. That's what I was gonna say.
He's got
You're
the
gonna
leaf
take-
spring. He's bending the crap out of it.
You're
The
taking the
joke is,
gun
I've
apart.
seen him do stuff like that before.
Well,
You're taking the gun apart with a Dremel. Whee! All right, now we're acceptable. Brrr.
in the 2017 Idaho sectional, they had one day that was like limited, then the next day that you'd shoot the match in production. I borrowed Kenny Terry's 2011, and I had to exchange the gun halfway through the match because I would the trigger and that shit would go whack, and I'd be like, all right, like on the third like shot 2 feet to the left of the target, I was just like, I'll shoot minor Beretta. Take this,
The
please.
funny thing is, I remember giving you the gun that had the heavier trigger too.
That thing was so freaking light. And the other part
So
too,
Kenny-
I had this open holster, and so I had it rigged in the open holster. I was like, oh my god, this is gonna go crazy. I'm gonna die.
So are you saying that my Prodigy trigger is actually better than Jared's staccato trigger?
10 times.
Really?
Yeah. Oh my.
Wow.
Wow.
So I actually shot a platypus today,
Oh,
and
how'd you
it
like it?
had a better trigger. It was meh, but
Oh,
it
really?
was cool. I mean, it's fun taking a Glock mag and being like,
Huh.
oh, this works. So that was a pleasant surprise. I did a class today, and one of the guys brought in a platypus, and I got to shoot it. So I was happy.
It runs well though. I mean, it's
Yeah, I mean, it was those platypi are really fun just from the aspect of you can 100% customize every single thing on it,
yeah.
like all the paint, all the serrations, all the everything. So that was really neat. It was fun playing with this gun.
I am not a fan of all the customization, especially when it comes to colors, because I know as soon as I get a customization of colors, I get the most inferior paint job I possibly can ever get.
Well, it's because you went black, and then like the saying, you never went back.
Nitride, baby.
I mean, you tried the chrome, and you realized that it was
Chrome was great.
insufficient.
The
Too
chrome,
much.
The chrome was great. The best thing at the hard chrome on the barrel and that slide, with the best thing is you get them with the match, you go like this, with a paper towel, and just go, done, clean. But yeah, I did.
Joke's on you if you don't even have to use the paper towel if you never clean it.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's true.
I mean, Kenny helped me go through this 2011, and he did more cleaning than I ever did.
It's like he's just gonna give it its first clean while it's done. But yeah, I ended up shooting the match. I had a very difficult time returning the Canik to where it was, and I got to a point in the match. I was just like, I shoot Glocks way better. I'm 40 years old. I have less time now to sit there and work on this thing. I'm gonna sell this thing. I'll sell it. And
I
literally,
can't remember what show it was, Tommy, that we called this, but let's just say it was 3 or 4 shows ago.
Listen. You can't tell every. You also said that I'd be doing this forever, and it took 2 matches, and I'm back to light. So,
Well,
in some world, we're both right.
It only took one match with you shooting with me.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing. It's just like it's so freaking frustrating with this guy because you will shoot a clean, decent stage, and he will show up because there's a bunch of open targets. He shot the same target twice because he forgot how to engage the array, and he still gets a 1 point higher hit factor than you, and you're just like, the hell is this land? It's just like he walked between 2 barrels and forgot which targets he had already shot, and then just shot everything again. It's like, whatever. What am I doing with my life?
Did he shoot the staccato yesterday?
Yes, he did,
No.
because he didn't want to shoot his.
Oh.
He didn't want to shoot his new M&P because it.
So
That's even more impressive that you shoot so well, such a piece of shit.
all I'm saying is you had a good day shooting when your friend who came with you sells his gun in rage because you beat him so bad.
Not even at the end of the match. I had that bitch sold out after stage 2. That thing was. I was sitting there showing,
God.
and Orlando had one of his friends. He's just like, he's looking for a Canik rifle, and I was like, I have the box and I have everything here, and like it was nice because he was a really genuine kid, had just gotten into USPSA. He's like, well, they're like this much, and Orlando said pay a couple $100 more, and that would be worth it. And I was like, dude, you can have it for exactly what I have into it. Like, this is how much it cost me retail. This is how much the 2 extra magazines were with shipping. I'll take my optic and my base pad off it. And Venmo's cool with me. And he sent me the Venmo, and he now has a Canik rival at the end of the day. I went into that day not going to sell a gun. He went into that day not buying a gun, and we're just two happy people. And like, he's a great new shooter. I even gave him the mount that everyone was making fun of me with, the holster. And he's like, "Oh, I'll just get a different holster." He's like, "No, you won't. People don't make them yet." So have fun. This little trash holster, have fun with this little guy, because he's going to be your friend for a little bit. But I went home completely happy about it, and very happy that I'm back to shooting this thing. I shoot the Glocks pretty well. It's just, I'm 40 years old. I have less time than I did, and the time to practice on a gun that's recoils completely differently than what I'm used to, it's just not worth it.
So, next week, Glocks,
M&Ps.
I'm shooting
stock
Glock.
service pistol.
Wait, so we're all
Kenny,
shooting
you in?
Glocks? There's no match next weekend, but the week, like the next match, yeah, there's no
There's
match
no
next
match.
weekend.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh,
But yeah, so I think we should, like, the next match we all shoot just straight factory Glocks, iron sights.
How factory am I going to have to tear apart a
This is
gun?
pretty factory.
okay. Can we
Dude,
just do?
like, if the trigger's under or above, let's go if the trigger's above 3 pounds.
I'll put an iron
Let's-
sight on this pistol. That's
No,
about as
with
factory as
irons.
thing.
Let's do this. We bring one gun. We
God,
pass
no
it.
shit.
We pass it between.
I don't know.
Done.
Whoever.
Jared, do you have a factory Glock?
No.
I do.
Well, I mean,
You do? Because like,
I-
one of mine would have to go back to factory, but
I have a stock Glock. The one Glock it has an armor on it, and the other Glock has Dawson. It's black on black sights.
I
So
have.
I don't have anything on that one.
Here's Gen 3 with an Apex trigger, and I have Dawson's on a Glock 17 slide.
Are we doing red dots or no?
irons.
Dude, I will go buy.
Everyone has a.
Salt Lake wholesale.
Here's the deal. If
And
I
say,
got.
"This is stock."
I have a Gen 4 Glock. It's a Gen 4 Glock 17 or a Gen
don't-
5 Glock 19. Both of them can be iron
we
sights.
all have.
Let's go with the
Glock-
17. We all can share it.
have Glocks with a freaking dot on it. Why are
So-
we going to go shoot some third division when the guy challenging us doesn't even let us sit there and use the dot? 2, if we all use the same gun, we're leaving with burns. I don't know if you guys know how hot these things get, but if we use the same gun and all shoot in a row and just bring our own
Okay,
magazines,
Tom, you
we're
can go
burning
first
ourselves.
you can go first every time.
Well, eventually I have to go last.
obviously your
I
hands
don't.
are kind
I don't want Tom going first because
Flaky.
he's going to shoot that janky ass shit ammo that he uses, and it's
I
probably
use
going to blow up the
perfectly
barrel.
fine ammo, but I can manufacture janky ass shit. Believe
This
me.
is fair.
It's-
This is
it's-
fair.
I can sprinkle some 9 major into Tom's range bag.
We call that a
I
burden.
don't care, irons or dot, same gun.
Yeah,
You
let's all
can
shoot.
complain that the sights aren't zeroed.
Let's all
end of the
let's
day.
let's all shoot Glocks.
I'll if you're in, I will 100% bring. I have a stock Glock with an RMR on it with Talon grip tape and a red dot on it, and we can take the red dot off it if you want. I mean, with the light off and on if you want.
We all own Glocks with dots.
I'm
We'll just
down.
We'll just shoot Glocks with dots. Everybody.
I'm pretty sure
No,
we
we're-
all own 34s.
I
don't
think
we?
we can. I think we
I've got a 34 somewhere. I think.
My 34 is all cut up. It's all
Who
it's
cares?
the
As long
tearing.
as it's a 34.
It's a
Mine's
34.
stock.
We'll shoot it. We'll have fun. We'll have
Yeah.
fun. But
No, I'm
yeah.
gonna shoot my stock.
And then
Glock.
Tom
All right,
can make
next
fun of
match.
my janky trigger press.
Well, I'm just.
Next
Oh my gosh, he's joking, everybody. He's not. He's dead serious. He's a monster. Anyways, new monster material. I got the new Jason Bunderson over at Dominate sent me the new carry belt. This thing is freaking amazing. So the back half is the sturdy nylon that we're all sitting there used to, right?
Uh-huh.
And then the front half is this elastic that has an adjustment in the front. And
Sounds
then
like a bra.
and then the hook,
That's a bro to you.
the 2 hook systems in the front there. So you get to adjust this, and then when this clamps around and becomes the front of the belt, your appendix gear goes over this nylon, and so it always slips on. Because what happens is you get this gear now that has hooks or loops or whatever, and depending, like if the belt overlaps on each other or if the belt's slightly thicker depending on the belt, the clamps won't clamp all the way, or you have to move the belt to the side, one side or the other, to get the front of your belt completely clean. And this solves it perfectly. This is amazing. The carry belt from Dominate Defense, this is the one ring to rule them all. It is not only that, it is so it is so comfortable and does not feel like a belt. You will like, when you walk around with your pants and you kind of feel like that belt buckle or that little bit of extra weight that's on the front. Nope. It literally feels like it's the elastic of your pants holding up your belt. It's fantastic.
That's cool.
Huh.
It is great. It is. I used to wear the inner belt around, and that was fantastic. This thing blows everything out of the water, and so it's just like perfect for getting your mag pouches and stuff like that, especially if you carry all your gear inside the waistband. And it folds up like this. It is the coolest little thing. So check it out. It is definitely worth a look. He's outdone himself. He done did it. So, and anyway, traded, got a Walther PDP for fun. Higher resale value, way I traded for it. And it's a great weapon because it simulates duty ammo. And so if you really want to get that duty ammo feel, get yourself a Walther PDP.
It refers to duty ammo with Tom's 110 power factor.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
Listen, it's not its fault. It's only like 12 ounces, okay?
That baby is snappy.
Dude, Kenny handed it to me with a 10-round mag, like 10 rounds in the mag, and I was just like, and I was just like, wait, it's in it. And then you pull out the magazine, it's got bullets in it. The thing feels so freaking light. It's got a lot of good things going for it. Like, it returns, but it has to because it lifts so damn much. Like, it is, you shoot it and you're just like, but it returns.
Spicy.
Yeah, and then, so it's snappy. The grip's great, very accurate, returns well. It's got a few little things. So snappy recoil. The magazines, when you fill them up, if you have low power factor ammunition, it sometimes has a hard time running the +1 in the gun. And then it has this weird thing. So most guns, so like you have this Glock, and if I push against the Glock and pull the trigger goes dead, but when it comes back into battery, it fires. Right? Most semi-automatic pistols would do that. The PDP, if you pull the trigger, when it goes back into battery, the trigger's dead. It will not drop the striker.
It'll get you killed in the streets.
It'll get you.
That's the weird thing about the Walther, and I don't mean this with any disrespect. I mean, I think I know of one person who isn't actually paid by Walther who shoots it.
I would
like in competition. I don't see him all that much.
It is a well-made pistol.
Mike Pine.
Oh, true.
It is,
and he likes it. He says it's a good gun, and I'm not going to bag on it because I've shot it once.
He shoots the steel frame. The steel frame's nice. The Q5 steel frame's nice.
Is it?
Yeah.
I would say
nice.
The PDP
is
nice.
I don't have anything bad to say about it. Just the observation that I don't know anybody outside of like Mike Pine who shoots it.
It is a nice gun, but the way that the gun is kind of rigged up and designed, it's just a little. It has a little quirks. It feels very much like a polymer frame P320. I think everyone forgot how much the P320s were kind of. Well, it returns a whole lot better than a polymer frame P320.
Is it as drop safe as a P320?
This thing is actually safe, believe it or not.
Oh, so not like a P320.
Yeah, they actually make they put a little dingus on here. It's got a better trigger. It's got a much better barrel, and they use Glock sights, and they're all come optics ready, and they'll send you a free plate. But magazines are too expensive. They're Mechar made, but they want $60 for them. So get out of here. Yeah, it's a good little pistol. If you have one, don't be upset that you have one. They're a good pistol. It's just kind of quirky.
No, like I said, I think they're probably a fine pistol.
Just know that people think you're a hipster if you're shooting a Walther.
That or you're a shill for PNS.
Yeah.
Penis. It's called penis.
Hey, that's gonna get us banned from Troy. Who's also named McAnus.
He does not like the penis?
Robert?
No. He probably likes it all too much.
Sad penis.
Well, that's the month for it. Robert, your match.
Imagine, if you will, a person shows up at the match. They're a little bit tired, but it's going to be a fun day. And then they shoot. And the world goes to shit.
Imagine a raccoon. Imagine a raccoon
right, so
finds
that was stage one. What about the other one?
Downhill from there. It never got any better. It was the worst.
You gotta at least talk about your one action as range master.
I had a bunch of range master stuff I had to deal with. So what did you guys see? So you guys saw the one where we had a shooter. He he was on. So as I understand it, he was on the stage and he had what appeared to be a squib. And the RO says, "Well, just get a squib off and just jam it down there and get it out of there." And so he's sitting there.
To be clear,
with his gun
on the clock,
which sort of kind of a no-no. But the RO told him to do it, right? Now, here's the problem. In USPSA, the shooter is responsible for the condition of the firearm at all times.
Even the new ones.
But the RO told him to do it.
Yeah.
But they're responsible for the condition of the firearm. So it's just like...
He was just following orders.
Yeah. And you can see how well that worked for the Nazis.
Well, it's
no, it was just this tough situation.
It's a hard thing. It's a hard thing. The RO cannot tell you to do something that breaks the rules.
Well, they can.
Well, they can tell you that, but you can't.
And you're responsible for it.
And so we all have to learn the sport a little bit at a time. But that's a hard lesson to learn on your first one of the DQ of literally doing something to a problem. You kind of need help answering, and the RO gives you a formula which is wildly illegal.
And that was the challenge in this situation. So the RO told him to do this. Go ahead, Jared.
Question.
Hmm?
Did the RO call squib and then say, get a guide rod, clean it, and fix it? Or was he told to stop? How did that occur?
That's a question that I never even got an answer to. And so we were dealing strictly with the RO told him to do this while he was on the clock, and that becomes the problem more than anything, because I mean you can't. The rules are pretty darn clear about that. You can't be doing that. You can't be trying to clear a squib on the clock. They actually have a rule for that. I suddenly don't remember it off the top of my head, but it's still the point that you can't do this, but the RO told him to do it. And so now this poor shooter is sitting here and he's like, I did what they told me to do. If I have to be DQ'd, I get it, but what did I do wrong? And I'm like, well, here's what the rule says. He's like, I get that, but they told me to do it. And so
but Dad told me.
So is this an experienced shooter or a new shooter?
I'll tell you his name afterwards. He's experienced, okay. But I don't know how rules experienced he is, and so I go in the end this is just frustrating, dude, because I run off. So I finally match director and I pulled him off to the side, and Tommy, that's when you showed up, and I honestly was not trying to be a jerk or anything. I really wasn't. I went home and I'm like, oh man, I was an asshole. But I kind of Tommy. I was like, I need a minute.
I wanted to tell him I was having a bad match too, and I already sold my gun, and he was.
I was already having a bad match, and so I talked to the match director, and we went over it, and we're like, yeah, this is the rule. And then I keep coming back, but the RO told him to do this, and finally I was just like, look, what if we just keep him in? We tell him the problem, but this is kind of an effed up situation. Thankfully, nobody got hurt. Let's just keep him in the match. And the match director's like, yeah, that's what I'd like to do. I'm like, cool. So we go back up. We talk, and yes, I know it's not a part of the rules. I get it. But we go back up. We talk to him. Look, this is a DQ. And he's like, okay, I understand. Thanks for your time. And I'm like, no, we're not going to DQ you. Finish the match out. We're gonna score the stage's shot, and you finish the match. And he's like, thanks, I appreciate it. I'm like, no problem.
And
then did you have a stern talking with the RO?
No, because right when that happened, I got another RM call. So I have to go from 6 all the way over to stage 1 to deal with a situation where there's a shooter, and she got to a position and she thought she had a squib. And so she could see a case in the chamber, and she's like, should I stop? Or she says, should I stop, or I think I'm going to stop, at which point the RO says, okay, stop, unload, and show clear. And then the question between the shooter and the RO was, should I get a reshoot because there wasn't a squib in the barrel? Well,
if the RO said stop, then yeah, it's a reshoot.
Bingo.
So both of these experiences are just bad ROs.
So that was the situation, Kenny. You actually hit it. And so I talked to her, and she told me her story. Then I talked to the RO, and I'm like, tell me what you did. And he says, this is what I saw. And I said, okay, stop, unload, and show clear. I'm like, you said stop. He says, yes. I'm like, under what condition would an RO yell stop or call stop? If there's a range safety violation or if there's a suspected squib, right? And he's like, yes. If you say if she said, I think I'm done, and you issued the unload and show clear command, then she doesn't get a chance to call for
but because he used the command stop.
Because he used the
gotcha.
keyword
Okay.
stop.
All right.
She gets reshoot, and so that's great. That's awesome, and that makes me happy because it gives us a good solution.
Was it a
Everybody walks
squib?
away happy. No, it was just there was nothing in there.
What about the other dude? Did he have a squib?
I can't remember.
I remember hearing somebody talking about trying to pound a live round out of a chamber.
He must have had something in there because he was sitting there on the clock trying to pound it out.
I just don't understand how that happens.
I don't either.
A squib?
But
because
I talked to the. I
was
talked to
say Tom can fill you in on how
one
that
match.
happens.
One match. I had a few. All right. Listen.
No,
multiple matches. What are you talking about?
No, all the other stuff was random power factors. The Squib Nandus thing came from literally a set of ammo that was like 6 squibs in at a match.
But what about the
you
what
suck
about
dick
the rifle
once,
match?
and all of a sudden you're gay.
In June, it's okay.
Yes, the rifle match happened immediately out. That was literally the next Saturday.
That was Tommy. That was the day. That was like when you were finally like, "That's it. I'm done.
Done.
I'm just getting a good press."
And
then the problems went away.
Yep.
But no, yeah. So there's that situation, and it was just. I love being an range master. I really do. I like serving the position. I think it's great because it gives me the opportunity to try and save people.
You just don't like being a shooter at the same time.
That's kind of really it. I mean, Yi Min taught me, and I think he learned it from Dan Bernard. But it's like there are 2 types of RMs, and for that matter, CROs and ROs. There's like those that will use the rule book to kick a person out of the match, and those that will use the rule book to keep a person in the match.
Yeah.
And you're still using the rule book. And I know in this case with the shooter, with the squib, I get that. But it's still the point. I like keeping people in matches as long as possible until they can't let me.
And this is why I bring up Serious Saturday. We have 2 Saturday matches.
I like that idea.
We make one of them. Feel free, family, come in here. This is the place where we want our new shooters. Second Saturday match. Don't look at us cross-eyed. We'll throw you out of this thing. What was that?
Oh.
Was that 178? Better get the RM over here.
The one of the things that we started doing, I did it at the introduction match on Thursday, and I continued it into this match, and we'll keep doing it going forward. Is I printed out that paper that I created. It was the muzzle awareness drill, and so I actually printed that thing out, and I had a handful of them. And with all the new shooters that came to the orientation portion, I just handed it to them. I'm like, look, this is how to not break the 180. Breaking the 180 is probably like 85 to 90% of the reasons we have DQs. And I showed it to them, and they're like, "Thank you, this is awesome." And then we went through and we did everything. And so I hope it helps. It's a very simple, easy drill to set up for people. And if you can learn the feeling of how your body needs to be positioned, it'll solve most of the 180s. It should solve almost all the 180s that we ever encounter.
Robert, you should keep a stack of those with you, and when somebody gets close to it you're shooting with, just hand them the paper. And we're like, "What's this?" Like, "No, just a drill, buddy. Just
a drill.
You know?
It'll help you
reason.
out. It'll help you out.
No reason.
After that one, I'm going to make the how to keep your finger off the trigger drill.
Yeah. Kenneth?
Yeah, so I shot the match. It was fine. I mean, it was funny. Me and Robert were bitching in the morning. We both were tired, and neither of us really wanted to be there. My match went tremendously better than Robert's. I was having a real hard time. Like, the match was fundamentally easy.
Yeah.
Probably a match you shouldn't have shot penalties on. Match you probably should have a lot of deltas on, but should have been penalty free. Fundamentally easy match. But I could not get the aggression going. Like, the last stage, I was like, hey, there was an aggressive stage. Other than that, I was like listening to death metal in my headphones, just trying to get the aggression to turn up, and I just couldn't get it going. But I also made no mistakes, which normally results in good scores.
There was a lot of mistakes made at that match, which was surprising for how technically easy. I know that I walked away with 3 mics, and it for me it was there was a lot of open targets and a lot of easy transitions, and my eyes just got ahead of the gun.
We had that. It was our last stage, that swinger stage, and I basically came up to it, and I'm like, okay,
You
let's
mean
shoot
the stationary soft cover stage?
it.
You're a pussy.
Yes. This is how out of it I was, because I never do this, but like the position you start with your hands on the barrel, the handgun's loaded and holstered, pick up the gun, and depending, like Tommy and Jared, you guys shot it different, but it was like we're gonna shoot the activator and then shoot the 2 paper and then shoot the swinger.
Right.
And I don't know why, but I didn't do that. I'm like, shoot the activator, shoot the paper, start backing up, try and shoot the swinger while I'm backing up. The whole time I'm like, why am I doing this? I have no idea, but I did it anyway because I was so freaking gone from that match that I didn't even care.
Yeah,
And it was fine. It was an alpha delta, like, so what? But it's still just like that's how the entire match went.
it is one of those things that feels so weird because you have this soft cover that covers the wall, so you can technically shoot through the soft cover and shoot the swinger at rest. And you know that is not how the stage was intended to be shot. And then it's like somebody does it. You're like, I'm the last one because I was first up on the previous stage. And you watch someone do it on your squad, and then you're just like, well, that's really fast. And then you watch someone else do it on your squad, and you're like, well, that was still really fast. And then like the main person you're competing with on your squad does it, and you're just like, I thought you were going to shoot it at the very end. And they're like, no, because it's very fast. And then you just get down there, and you just, I don't know, you just feel like you're the kid, like you're the sixth kid in a family of 5, 6 kids or whatever, and you're going to the all you can eat, and you're 14, and how old are you, young man? And you're like, I'm 12.
Jared, did you shoot that swinger stationary too?
100%.
Man, I lost a lot of respect for you two gentlemen today.
Like
I
no,
it shot
was
like men, and then
at a local match.
No, it
funny,
was terrible.
I shot it on the move and still won the stage.
Yeah, buddy.
Granted,
Barely.
I did shoot the swinger on the move because I felt dirty. I came back and shot the swinger on the move. I couldn't just do it all. Like, listen, I'm not a hero.
At a local match, I tend to want to shoot the stage the way the stage designer set it up. If it was a major match, no, because they've gone through the vetting process. No. Screw them. They should know better.
Yep. I didn't even know soft cover existed. Like 100%. Like they were like, this is soft cover. I'm like, what
the last past couple of matches, the club has experimented with soft cover. I think before Utah State. And soft cover has not seemed to be any sort of barrier from anybody doing what the hell they want. I mean, it's soft cover just means, hey, look, you want to shoot through soft cover, cover the dot up with tape. Technically, you shot the whole match through soft cover.
Your wife and your bishop will still be mad at you for looking at softcore porn than the normal stuff.
So yeah, I understand. Like, we don't want to drag steel, and then we have no sheets out there, and we would have to score them in kind of weird positions. But soft cover is, man, it literally promoted everyone that I saw on that stage shooting the walls because soft cover is attached in the front of the walls.
And you know what?
Experience for that stage designer, right? Like,
exactly.
Next time, throw no shoots up.
It was really funny. So the first person who saw it, I think it was Ed. And Ed talked to Blake about it. Blake calls Dirk, and Dirk comes stomping over and just glares at it for a second. He's like, they're right, shit. And then he stomps away, and he's just like, God damn it.
I think you could use I think you could use the same idea with soft cover, but then lay head up, shoulder to shoulder, or staggered a little bit, no shoots, in a way that would allow them to be scored, but also keep people away from shooting the soft cover. You only need no shoots in one no shoot in a strategic place to prevent people from a start position from shooting scoreable points on that target, and then you could use soft cover everybody else. It would,
I honestly, it was an interesting stage. It was fun. I think it's what we talked about before the match started. if you want to have good stage designers, you have to be willing to accept some stages that aren't great.
And it was a good stage.
Yeah,
And it
was
Dirk's
good learning.
It was a great
Dirk's
stage.
a really good stage
Dirk is
designer.
really, really
It-
good.
it was
no,
a-
100%.
Yeah, just
It was just a
something you didn't
mistake.
think about. Yeah,
It was-
absolutely.
and you know what? I mean, that's the hardest thing. Like being an RO, like I've learned more from the times when I've screwed up calls, when I made bad choices against
Yeah.
shooters, than I ever have in any other context. And in a lot of ways, that's how you learn. I mean, you learn how to build good stages by seeing things that you've messed up on,
Homemade
and then you just get better and
gunsmithing.
better. And Dirk is fantastic.
Homemade gunsmithing's the same way. There's a pile of parts that are completely destroyed, parts that are angled in there, and then it's just like it's amazing because you do something and then you're like 3 times faster the second time, and it works. And then the
I know
fourth
there are
time,
guns that I have.
there's
that
no
are like
marks.
full auto. Well, that were full auto, but I totally got rid of that stuff because I just kind of kept filing on that sear.
yeah, it's the learning mistake. But like it, besides the trying to solve the problem of not getting the wall shot when you have a swinger behind it, like besides that, the stage was an excellent stage.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Jared, do you have anything before we go to questions? Tyler rifle class. How many cops shot each
Yeah.
other? No cops.
Luckily, none.
Good.
We had
Good.
10 shooters out there, and it was a lot of fun, good times. And I kind of had a small come apart because I was like, dude, you paid money to come here to learn from me to shoot better. Why won't you do what I'm telling you to do? So there's this one guy who was just like, I'm like, okay, what we're doing, and this is how I do rifle shooting, is you want to try X, then Y, then Z, then you try multiple things. Let's try your stock right here. 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 It's different for every single person, for every single rifle, for how you have it built out. Do you need to have full contact with your stock? Do you need to have partial? Like it's every single rifle is different and every single person is different. And so it was just hilarious talking to this guy. I'm like, hey, do this. And he's just like, all right. And he didn't do it. And I'm like, what? I don't understand. Like, do you want help or are you just like here to hang out? Like, that's fine
I
if
mean,
you are. I just
The
Jared,
check
he
has been
thinks it-
cashed.
Well, yeah, he thinks he paid, so he'll magically get better now. He doesn't actually need to listen or put time into it.
Wait. You say I have to put effort in?
Yeah.
I've been doing it wrong for the past 10 years?
I mean,
I just
isn't that
keep
how a lot of
buying
people take classes? They
shadows.
just take the class. All they gotta do is take the class and they magically get better.
Well,
No,
the other thing
that's
about
how it works.
about
100%.
taking classes or instructing classes, one of the hardest things when you take a class or instruct on a class is the student or the exercise can really only occupy one part of the mind at once, and so you literally have to teach them to pay attention to one part and only that one part, and then you'll have
Right.
to teach them another part, and then that first part falls apart, and they're like, I don't think I'm getting any better. It's just like, okay, concentrate on this part, then you concentrate on that part. And it's kind of one of those things where you're like working with another human being or trying to understand that you can't. People say that you can build in a class, like we'll teach this, then we'll teach this, then we'll teach this, then we'll teach this, and they'll just build towards the end. And very rarely do you get students that can actually at the end put all those things together. Most of the time, what you are doing is building this segment. Now you need to go home and work on this, and then you need to build this segment. You need to go home and work on this, or build this segment, and it completely falls apart. But you always get the people, and Mass was the best one. He's like, it's not your money, it's my money now, and it's my range. You can do what you want. Shoot when I say to shoot. If you don't want to learn anything, fine. It's already my money.
Well, it's funny because I talked to him about it. I'm like, dude, we're doing drills, and let's say we're shooting 5 shots of 223 in this drill. I'm like, if you're okay taking a Wendy's Frosty and just throwing it over at that hill, and just throwing it yonder,
Yeah.
that's fine. If you want to do that, but just understand, this is your money that you're just depositing into that hill at a very high rate of speed. If you're okay just throwing money into that, that's fine. But just know, please, like, you're not doing what I'm telling you to do in
Yes.
any way, shape, or form. And so it was frustrating because I had a handful of guys who were listening and who were doing exactly what I told them, and they were finding out, because what I like doing with rifle shooting is, for instance, like support hand. when you're shooting rifle support hand. Okay, let's do super aggressive grip support hand where you're pulling in. Shoot. Okay, now let's do super loose support hand. Shoot. Okay, what did you like better, aggressive or loose? Depending on your rifle, depending on how your muzzle brake or no muzzle brake is set up. If you have a SBR with a suppressor on it, you might have to get tight with it. If you have a full tilt, rifle length gas system with a muzzle brake with a lightweight BCG and a lightweight everything, maybe all you have to do to hold at that support side is barely touch the gun and it won't move. So it's all dependent on your rifle. And so we do this side of the spectrum, this side of the spectrum, and then we try to shuffle in and find your Goldilocks zone for you and for your rifle. And this is a buildup that you can do for whatever gun you have, for whether it's a shotgun, whether it's a rifle. If you're wanting to shoot this multiple times quickly, this is how you do it. And so it was just hilarious because there's this one guy who's just like, heh.
Yep.
Like, okay, try this. Heh. Same thing. Like, dude, you got to change it. Heh. Same thing. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I don't understand.
Guy, Jared, at the introduction match Thursday that really reminded me of that, where, God, I don't know. It was the goofiest thing. He was nice. Okay. Full stop. He was nice. But you would talk to him and he had this like glassy eyes, kind of a smile, like the dude was like in shock almost. And you tell him stuff and he'd be like, okay. And then he just like, it was just like in one ear and out the other.
And he just doesn't do it.
He doesn't do it.
Yep.
No.
And that is by far the most frustrating student to have. And then they're like, I didn't get better at all. I'm like, you didn't do what I told you to.
Oh, they're
way,
even
shape,
better.
or form.
They're even better in private lessons. There's nothing like spending 4 hours with one guy who's doing the same thing over and over again. There has always come a time in the class where I have to not sit everybody, but look at everybody. It was like, for the love of God, for this drill, for this exercise,
Please stop pointing the gun at me.
Just do the thing I'm asking you to work on and nothing else.
Right.
Just for fun. Let's just like hold the gun like this. That's all I'm asking you to do and shoot 6 rounds. Aim if you want. Don't aim if you want. Don't race with each other. Hold the gun like this. Shoot 6 rounds. Can we do it?
Right.
Yes. 5 out of 6 people can do it. Yeah. Anyways,
That's weird. I don't understand that.
And that student will show up. 1 in maybe 50, maybe 1 in 20, 1 in 100. I don't know. It just depends. But oh man, this one guy, I was just struggle bus with him. And then some of the other guys, a lot of them just didn't realize that they were off kilter, and you have to square up because if the stock is coming and hitting a perpendicular body part, let's say your shoulder or your chest or whatever, it hits it and it stops. Whereas if you are slightly diagonal,
bladed to the
kind of bladed, and then the stock is hitting this, obviously the stock will glance a little bit, and they're going to have a harder time shooting and controlling the recoil. So you have to square up with your target if you really want to do this perfectly. And so I was like, okay, first feet, then hips, then shoulders, then stock, then support hand, then firing hand. And so we're building up and working on all those steps. And so it was a good class. We had a lot of guys improve a lot. We had a lot of guys have a good time. I was happy to have another sold out class, so that was good. But oh my gosh, it was this one guy. I'm just like, dude.
Well, we barely get to run into that because of what we do is a bunch of people who voluntarily show up to try to get better at USPSA.
Mm-hmm.
It's like everyone's there. Like no matter what's happening or what the match is, everyone's there learning. Everyone's learning something at every match. And you can learn to ask us questions. Head on over to Telegram, and while we're sitting there getting those questions ready, head on over to Dominate Defense. Check out this excellent carry belt, and of course their Mach 1 speed belt. Every iteration keeps getting better. This is a quantum leap. This is the Shiznit. So use promo code PARA10, save 10% off. Check out Precision Holsters. Use their fast holster. Same promo code. You can get Rune Tactical. Get an extra round in the old pistol. They helps. It helps, especially when you don't have to split a target array. It helps. It's very nice to do. Check those out. They're very affordable. Same promo code PARA10. W74 Guy Rod. You can also check them out. And then Jared, your Instagram is.
Oh, and we're Waypoint Training. Type in Waypoint Training. No space, no underscore, no hyphen.
That's a
the
W, not a
Instagram.
G.
Yeah.
Uh,
Get 6 of your
that's
friends.
the Instagram. That's the Facebook. I do private lessons for groups if you're interested. It's very reasonable rate. It's a fun time, and I'm going to be doing a handgun class sometime next month.
Get 6 of your friends. Get a private lesson. No one do a damn thing he says the whole class. Just do it for fun.
Oh my God!
Watch Jared's eye starts twitching.
Watch a man slowly die and do it.
That would be me yesterday.
Oh,
See,
Lord.
questions. If Tom sold his heavy 9mm, why doesn't he just use the heavy 9mm he already owns at the next match, his MP5K?
It should be. It should be ready to go. We got to figure out this brace, this ATF brace thing. Well, this thing's got to
Just
be.
put What are you talking about? Just put a stock on it.
Well, I'm looking at a B&T stock. I think that might be.
I mean, at this point, it's an unregistered SPR. So just put the stock on it.
Just put the stock on it. I
Do
did
the Magpul stock. Have you seen that? That's nice.
It's a nice stock. It's
Yeah.
a really nice stock.
I would have to see if
when
they
I
have it in
was
2-pin.
when I was seriously considering Form 1
Homosexuality.
this afternoon, when I was seriously considering Form 1ing the MMP, that was actually the stock I was looking at because it's really nice and it works exceptionally good.
The MP5?
Mm-hmm.
You said the MNP.
Did I say
That's a
that?
different
I'm
gun.
so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Form whining
The MP5. I apologize. The MP5. That's what I was looking at. It was nice. It's a great stock.
Wonderful. Yeah, I would love to go out there and shoot another match at PCC. I think when the winter comes, I'll definitely do that. I mean, they're fun guns, and I got a dot on the thing, and I think it's great.
So, would Kenny still beat us if we shot PCCs?
Yes, he would.
I don't know. Jared can rip the shit out of a PCC.
This is true. This is true.
We should do it then.
Spot me 2%.
You get. Well, wait. What gun do you get?
Okay, I don't know if that matters much. You choose.
Do you get a PCC?
No, I'm not gay. I understand you're about to come.
Ow.
Name of
So
this
wait,
episode will be "It's June."
So Kenny gets
not
You
gay,
beat
it's
me with a
June.
PCC, haven't you, Jared?
open gun, and I get a PCC, and you get 2% handicap, and we'll see who wins.
Yeah.
The answer is still Kenny.
I don't. You beat me with PCC, haven't you?
I haven't
It
shot
was
a
a
PCC
limited gun
in a
versus
long
PCC,
time.
but
I don't
I'm pretty sure
remember
you
that.
got me once.
The one time I remember I beat you, I was shooting a Phoenix Trinity Honcho, and you were shooting a
Single stack.
a potato ass single stack.
A
that
Rock
cost
Island Armory.
$400. And after the match, I'm like, "What now, Kenny? What now?" Ah!
I think what
How you
we're
like
right.
them apples?
The way this podcast is going, we're gonna have the next 20 matches planned out on us versus Kenny. It's turning into American Gladiators at this point. Nitro. Just him tackling freaking office people, in a stadium.
I'm down for that, Kenny. We can do some science.
Let's do it.
Oof, that'd be rough, but I bereave in myself.
Well, if we're shooting the Glocks, can we at least fill up the mags? Because I really don't want to shoot. I don't want to shoot production.
Yeah, we're shooting CO, right?
Yeah, we'll shoot CO.
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna
CO.
shoot CO. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They all want a dot, so if we're doing dots, it's gotta be
Well,
CO.
I thought we were gonna do irons. I was getting excited. to
Tom
finally
is so
use that
worried
Glock
about shooting
17.
Yeah, but nobody.
I'll shoot
nobody
the
has
damn.
iron.
I'll shoot the. I have
got two
irons. I'll shoot
iron-sighted
the damn
Glocks.
irons. What do you
Hell,
want?
I got
I'll
3
go play.
iron-sighted Glocks for that. Actually, dude, I've got 2 iron-sighted Glock 17s that we could use. It'd be easy, and I'll have one. One will be a right hand, one will be a left hand.
Tom's getting so frustrated. right
I'm
here.
not getting. I'm trying to. We're like working out a match schedule. I'm trying to get through a show. People have other responsibilities on the show than just sitting there and talking shit. Robert, read another question.
Ooh.
Yes, sir. From Kevin Isaac, rules and penalty question, and just for the other opinions, I'm fine with the call of the match. The stage required the last 3 targets be engaged strong hand only. I re-engaged a target to make up a bad shot. What, if any, penalties should be allocated? And I've got the thing here. So it says stage procedure. Upon the audible start signal, engage targets. The last 3 targets engaged must be engaged strong hand side only.
I think from a technical standpoint,
The stage script.
the procedural was correct.
Yes.
But from a life standpoint, it was wrong.
From a life standpoint, we'd shoot through the soft cover.
Correct.
Yes, it's one of the things like me and Robert were squatted with Kevin, and like I was trying to find a way of for him to not get the procedural, but
Yeah,
I
me
think
too.
by the book it's a procedural. Like, can I just say though, can we get rid of this fucking last 3 target strong hand only shit?
Right? That
I
is
know,
dumb.
That is so 2022.
Well, you know,
And,
the funny thing is, like,
everybody's
me
I
and
don't know why
Clay
we
were
keep doing that.
like debating how to shoot that stage, and we didn't read that part, so we're like debating going back and forth how to shoot that stage. And then when we're like last 3 target strong hand only, it's like, yay, now there's only one way to shoot the stage.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like, I ain't fucking shooting partial strong hand only. You're gonna give me 3 wide opens. I'm ending there.
Wait,
Like, it went from
You
a
went-
stage that had options to
you
a
went
stage-
back left, back right, then push forward?
I went back left,
No.
back right, ended there. I just shot the opens from that back rear corner.
So
Huh.
maybe this is a question
But yeah,
for
as
everybody.
far as rules, I think he had to get the penalty because it says the last 3 targets engaged. So even though he was re-engaging a target, it still was one of his last engaged.
I would rather have a stage that has, like we had one of that Utah stage, which was left side has to be shot with left hand, center has to be shot freestyle, right side should be shot right hand only. I would rather have a stage like that than have some random set of array dictated or last set of shots be dictated in a way to shoot it.
It's hard because USPSA, I mean, it's it's kind of the shiny object thing, you know, like somebody sees something shiny and then all of a sudden everybody else has to do it. It's that same with that Tom Cruise and Jamie Foxx movie Collateral.
Yep.
I mean, as soon as that came out, like you saw
homie, don't
27
touch me,
stages all showing up doing the same thing, and I get it. You know, it's that we get ideas from each other and we kind of like build on other people's ideas. But yeah, it shouldn't be that way. Kenny's right. Per the rules, per the written stage brief, the written stage brief was very clear. This is what you have to do. But Kenny and I were talking about it, and it's like, if people hadn't started talking about it, and like people asked the question, forced my hand, and now I have to honor that.
Yep.
And that's the problem. But I was with Kenny. I'm like, can we just shut up? And because it already was going to hurt Kevin to do that, and so he didn't really win. Like, it didn't help him to go back for that target. Maybe it did a little bit, but it was still the idea. But I mean, when you put it out there and it's like, okay, well, this is what it has to be, and you're like, well, shit, okay, yeah. I mean, that's what it is, and sorry, it sucks.
And Kevin's good enough that you can give him a procedure like that, and he's not gonna flip the f out. Like, this is the rule. This is it. And like, people will take their lumps. So
yeah,
I always got like, we shoot with new people, and they're like, "Do you want to look at this mic?" Nope. There's nothing to look at. It's a mic.
Mm-hmm.
You walk away.
Have you guys seen Django Unchained?
Yes.
You know the scene when the KKK raid, and he goes, "I think this was a great idea, but perhaps it was not implemented in the best way. So maybe this time we don't do the stupid stage rules and we just continue and shoot the match for fun."
I like the way you think, good sir.
And then the RM says, "God damn it, it's on the written stage brief. We're gonna fucking do it." That is exactly what I'm thinking of.
The rules be the
No,
rules.
I was like, honestly, Jared, I was trying like, I'm like, if you guys would all just kind of like shut up, like, what do they say? First of all, lower your voice.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah, that's the rules. I mean, and it would be one procedural.
Yeah.
So, and who was it? Who's it? Andy Mahina had on the classifier stage. He forgot to go strong hand only.
Yeah, he told me
so-
about that.
Yeah, I felt bad for that.
We had who was it on ours?
That was actually that was the other stage. I was actually going back there. I'm like, is there anything that we missed so we could give him a reshoot? No.
Dang it. We had a shooter, and he literally early shooter, and he literally like shot like a bunch of alphas and charlies, and then he zeroed it because he forgot to reload on both strings.
Oh.
He did a damn good run too. Like he did a solid run. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, run, sprint, go, 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 and he's like, yeah. And I like, I don't understand. Like, did we not tell him the first time?
Well,
and then he didn't do it again, and you're just like, bruh.
Somebody shot a bunch of mics, and Jared's down there. We're down there taping, and Jared literally, the guy's like, I wonder how low the score is going to be, and Jared just goes, you zeroed it. None. Score's none, dude.
He was like, it's probably at least a 1. I'm like,
No.
That's a 0,
No,
bro.
sir.
You had 7 mics.
No,
You
sir.
had 7 mics, dude. I'm sorry.
Them points be flying away.
So I have a question. It's my own question. So Slipsa, at the Big Salty Range, we have a thing where if you shoot 6 matches with the club, you are entitled to become a range officer, not a USPSA range officer, just a range officer for the Big Salty Range. And with that, that gives you the ability to come out and get onto the range when there's nobody else there, and you can practice. And it's a pretty good thing that we offer. The question I have is, it seems to me that we will have people show up to our matches, because you have to have 6 matches with the club. Apparently there's like word that like you can use other clubs as reference. I don't know anything about that, but I've heard that that's becoming a thing. But you can, so they'll show up, they'll shoot their 6 matches, and then they never show up again. But they now have the range, they now have that range officer's card, and they just keep showing up. They'll practice, they'll do whatever they want. And so my question is, should Slipsa and Big Salty as an organization, should that card be a 1-year card? Basically, you have to demonstrate that every 6 months you show up there, that you're shooting with the club, so that you're actually working with the club. That's my question.
Every good
Yes.
contract has an out.
I would argue it needs to be more aggressive.
Yeah.
Like you need to do X amount of hours of ROing, or you need to do, you need to RO this at least 1 match a month, or whatever, 1 match every other month, or something along those lines. Because I think the problem is you have a bunch of people who are like, I'm a certified RO at Slipsa, and you're like, you are dumb as rocks and have zero clue what you're doing here. I think that's a bad idea to give you the ability to run amok on this facility.
Yeah.
So
Because
I would
they could put a
much-
round out of the range that, and
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would be much more picky, and I would not issue those creds out to like anybody.
What?
So there's obviously a little bit of the backside of this Big Salty that like they need to give access to the ROs to please the state. If everybody doesn't know that there's a lease from the state to Big Salty for that, and that's part of
Right.
it. But I do agree with Robert. Like I think it should be an annual RO course, because there's people that they're like, yeah, I haven't shot a match in 3 years, and you show up and they're leaving fucking shit out. They're not cleaning up after themselves. They're super sketchy. Watch them. Yeah, I agree. I think it should be an annual problem, because it's to the point that a lot of these people haven't shot in years, but they show up, leave a mess.
Yep.
yeah. It's something that's kind of become an issue. I mean, like, everybody wants to be a part of the club so they can get that card, and then they all seem to magically disappear.
Yeah.
And so I don't know what the solution is, but I sure like the idea of making a person re-up. I mean, I don't know that you necessarily have to take the class again, but I think every year, if you want to maintain that card, maybe you should actually be shown that, look, I attended this many matches and I volunteered to help with the Not a Cop match or the Area 1 Steel Challenge. Any of the matches that people are actually giving back to.
And I wasn't
You
seen
could
doing
do-
sketchy stuff.
You are required to RO over the course of 1 year 4 local matches and 1 major match, or 6 locals and 1 major of your choosing,
I don't
Or
even know if we
some-
need to say you need to RO them. The whole point in them,
or attend.
the whole point in, that's the whole point in having shot 6 matches is to show that you're being a part of the club and helping the club out. So as long as you can prove you've attended 6 matches in 12 months, I'm okay with that. There is 7
That's fair.
matches a month that you can shoot at Big Salty. And
Wow.
if you can't shoot 6 in a year, well then you're not helping.
Then
any of
really,
the
are
clubs
you
out there.
helping
You
the
don't
club?
do-
Yeah.
Yeah. So I
Fair.
agree. Annually, you should show that you attended 6 matches a year.
All in favor? Sealed.
Take
Yeah.
it to the board, boys.
Take it to the board
We'll-
and see if
we'll,
they care.
we'll advise Gary and say this is the way now.
Well, it's got to be the Big Salty board. So, yeah.
Blanche.
Dave, no, she's the state. Dave, Steve, I believe Dirk. Not me. I'm Slipsless board. I'm not nothing to do with Big Salty.
Yeah.
I can't remember who's all on the Big Salty board.
Any more questions?
No, that was the last one. I was just curious for my own benefit.
Absolutely fantastic. Another episode done in the books. Only
Wah, 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 wah,
27
wah,
references
wah.
to the month of June. And only 37 challenges left out by Mr. Kenny Terry. And the matches
Let's
we're
go,
gonna shoot,
Kenny.
we're going to have some sort of argument on what we
Next
need to
2
shoot.
years, we've got matches all.
All lined up. All the challenges.
Well,
All
we
the-
did. What did we do? We've had
Beretta
single
days.
stack.
We had
we have
single stack.
Beretta.
Stack, Beretta.
Brett, I think the Beretta match was one of the last matches we shot before the COVID thing.
That is so terrible.
Yeah, it was
I
fun.
know.
We all, even Steve shot a Beretta. That was amazing.
Ken
That
even,
was a fun match.
Ken even bought a Beretta after that. That was one of the things. And then he's like, I'll shoot some production. And then productions
Production.
Production's dead.
fell in the grave.
All right, so next one. I'll shoot the Beretta. You guys shoot Glocks.
Now we'll just all shoot Glocks.
Float me.
Can we just be a family for once? Can we just show up to the range, not bicker, not fight? Just shoot Glocks?
I've never actually shot that LTT Beretta in a match before.
So it sounds like we had another Beretta match.
Oh.
The 92's ready.
Yeah, well, mine's
Uh,
all.
I shot my 92 in a match 3 months ago.
Oh man, I'd love to shoot that gun.
All right, fine.
We should do a Beretta match.
Oh,
Yeah.
Now Jared's getting scared. He's like, hold on a
Oh,
second.
I'm
Hold
down.
on.
I'll
Jared's
do
like,
it.
wait.
I got a
what's the-
PX.
what's
I
the
got a
double
PX.
action?
I got a PX4 for you,
Hey.
Jared. Don't worry.
I'll try anything. I'll try
Jared,
anything.
just dump
It
the
is
first round in
June
the
after
dirt.
all.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's June. I'll bring the lube. Let's go. Let's do it.
And on that note, for Robert Wyatt, Kenny Terry, and Jared Stepp, I'm Tom Nelson, bidding you peace, love, and souls as we depart into the open waters of the Sea of Life on a little tugboat we like to call the PARAcast.
Good night, everybody.
Toot toot.
Happy June.
Gay.